Hello, everyone. Peace and blessings to you all. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You think if she liked you, you'd just know. But here's the truth. Most men miss it completely, and she moves on wondering why you never noticed. Let that land for a second. You've been trained to look for the obvious, the big declaration, the dramatic moment, the movie scene where she grabs your face and tells you exactly how she feels. But real life doesn't work like that. Real attraction, deep attraction, the kind that keeps a woman up at night thinking about you. It doesn't announce itself with a neon sign. It whispers. It hides inside small moments. It lives in the gaps between what she says and what she does. And if you don't know how to read those gaps, you will keep walking past the best thing that ever showed up in your life. That's why you need to watch this entire video. Not for me, for you. Because if you're the kind of man who's serious about understanding how attraction actually works, not the fantasy version, the real version, then you need this kind of content in your feed regularly. Hit subscribe right now. Not so I get a number. So you stop getting blindsided by life. So the next time something real is standing right in front of you, you see it. Here's what this video is really about. It's not just a list of signs. It's a map to understanding female psychology at a level most men never reach. Because when you understand why she does what she does, not just what she does, you stop reacting from confusion. You start operating from clarity. And that shift from confusion to clarity changes everything about how you show up. So here's the thesis. When a woman is falling hard for you, she doesn't hand you a manual. She hands you a series of involuntary signals, behaviors she often isn't even consciously controlling. And understanding those signals isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about being present enough, grounded enough, and secure enough to actually recognize what's real. Let's get into it. Sign number 1, she finds reasons to be near you that have nothing to do with logic. She doesn't need a reason, she creates one. The errand that conveniently brings her past your desk. The question she could have texted but asks in person. The event she wasn't planning to attend until she found out you'd be there. You might look at these moments and think, coincidence. But there is no such thing as coincidence when a woman is interested. There is only intention dressed up as accident. The misconception here is that proximity means nothing unless she says something explicit. The hard truth is that proximity is the first language of attraction. Before words, before vulnerability, before admission, there is closeness. She is testing the field. She is feeling the temperature of the space between you. She is asking a silent question with her presence, and she is watching to see if you answer. What it costs you if you miss this. You treat it as nothing. You stay in your head. You don't lean in. And she reads your distance as disinterest. She concludes you don't see her. And a woman who feels unseen stops showing up. That's not rejection. That's self-protection. You didn't lose her because she stopped liking you. You lost her because you didn't respond to the invitation. The reframe, proximity, is her first move. When she keeps finding ways to be in your orbit, she is already saying something. Your job isn't to overthink it. Your job is to be present enough to receive it. Sign number 2, she remembers everything. Not just the big things, the small things, the offhand comment you made 3 weeks ago about a restaurant you wanted to try, the way you take your coffee, the story about your dad that you mentioned once, briefly, while you were both looking at something else. She filed it, she cataloged it, she holds your details like they're precious because to her, they are. This is not normal behavior for someone who is indifferent. Indifference doesn't store data. Indifference doesn't listen that deeply. When a woman is falling for you, her brain becomes a vault for everything you are. She pays attention to you the way most people pay attention only to themselves. The misconception is that this is just her being a good listener. The hard truth is that selective deep memory is a form of emotional investment. She is building a version of you inside her mind. She is constructing the full picture of who you are, piece by piece, because she wants to understand you, because you matter to her, because when someone occupies space in your heart, they occupy space in your memory. What it costs you, if you never notice, if you never acknowledge the small things she remembers, she starts to feel invisible. She starts to feel like she is giving and you are taking without even knowing it. That quiet imbalance becomes resentment before it becomes distance. The reframe, when she remembers your details, honor it, not by performing gratitude, by showing up as the man worth remembering, by being consistent enough that your reality matches the version she's been building in her head. Sign number 3. Her body language shifts when you enter the room. She sits up straighter. She touches her hair without realizing it. She angles her body toward you even when she's talking to someone else. Her voice changes slightly, softer, clearer, more careful. Her laugh comes easier. Her guard comes down. These are not decisions she's making consciously. This is biology. This is the body betraying the mind before the mind is ready to admit anything. When a woman is drawn to you at a deep level, her nervous system responds to your presence before her thoughts can catch up. She is literally calibrating herself to you. The misconception, she's just being friendly or it's just her personality. The hard truth, warmth is constant, but calibration is specific. She might be warm with everyone, but she doesn't adjust herself for everyone. She doesn't unconsciously orient herself toward everyone. That shift, that subtle reorganization of her physical presence in your direction is not social grace. That's called involuntary attraction. What it costs you, you dismiss it as nothing. You keep treating her like any other person in the room, and the tension that was building between you quietly deflates. Not dramatically, just slowly, like air leaving something that was never sealed. The reframe, become a student of presence. Not to analyze and calculate, but to be awake. To be in the room fully enough that you notice the real things. Most men are so far inside their own heads, they are functionally invisible to the moment. Be different. Be here. Sign number 4. She initiates contact without a clear agenda. She texts you something random, a meme, a song, a question that doesn't need an answer. This reminded me of you message attached to something small and specific. There is no logistical purpose to this contact. There is no favor being asked. There is no crisis being managed. She just wanted to reach out. She just wanted to exist in your orbit for a moment, even digitally. The misconception is that casual contact means casual interest. The hard truth is that low-stakes initiation is actually high-stakes vulnerability. She is putting herself out there with no guaranteed return. She is sending a signal into the void and hoping you receive it with warmth. That takes more courage than most people realize because underneath that casual message is a very real question. Do you think about me the way I think about you? What it costs you. You respond with one word. You answer the surface question and ignore the deeper one. She gets the message, not the message you think you're sending, just that you're busy, just that you're tired. But the message she receives, which is, I don't feel the pull the way you do. That gap becomes a wall. The reframe, respond to what she's actually saying, not just the words. When she sends you something random, she's not being random. She's being brave. Meet that bravery with presence, with a response that shows you actually thought for 10 seconds before typing. Sign number 5. She gets nervous around you in a way she doesn't try to hide. She stumbles slightly over her words. She laughs a little too quickly. She forgets what she was saying mid-sentence. She checks her phone right after she says something, not because something happened, but because she needs somewhere to look that isn't your eyes. She recovers, she regroups, but for a moment, you can see it. This is not insecurity. This is not social anxiety. This is specifically about you. Because if it were general anxiety, it would show up everywhere, but it shows up with you, only with you. The misconception, she's just an awkward person. The hard truth, deep attraction creates cognitive interference. When someone occupies emotional weight in your world, being near them produces a kind of hyper-awareness that disrupts normal function. She is not falling apart. She is just suddenly, acutely conscious of herself in your presence because your perception of her matters to her in a way that other people's perceptions don't. What it costs you, you interpret her nervousness as disinterest or weirdness, you pull back and she loses the safety she needs to let her guard all the way down. You never get to see who she actually is because you flinched before she could open. The reframe, when she's nervous around you, receive it as a compliment at the deepest level, and then do what secure men do. Make her feel safe enough to breathe, not by trying too hard, by being calm, by being warm, by not making her nervousness weird. Sign number 6, she pushes back on you. She disagrees with you, not to create conflict, not to test you in some manipulative, theatrical way, but because she trusts you enough to be real. She tells you when she thinks you're wrong. She challenges your opinion. She holds her ground. And underneath that friction is something extraordinary. She respects you enough to engage with you honestly. Here is the thing most men misread. A woman who is falling for you is not going to simply agree with everything you say. A woman who is falling for you starts to invest. And investment means she has a stake in who you actually are, not just the image she's projecting onto you. She wants to know the real man. So she presses. The misconception, pushback means she's not interested or it means she's difficult. The hard truth, apathy is agreeable. Indifference nods and moves on. It is care that argues. It is investment that challenges. When she debates you, she is in it. When she goes silent and stops pushing back, that's when you should worry. What it costs you. You take her pushback personally. You get defensive. You pull rank or pull back. And you teach her that honesty with you is unsafe. She learns to manage you rather than connect with you. That's called the beginning of the end. The reframe. When she challenges you, stay grounded. Don't fold to keep the peace and don't escalate to protect your ego. Hold your position with confidence and hear her out with respect. That combination, strength and openness, is exactly what she's testing for. And when you pass that test, her attraction deepens in a way that softness or agreement never could achieve. Sign number 7. She talks about the future and she includes you in it, not necessarily in grand romantic declarations, in small, low-pressure, almost casual ways. We should go there sometime. You'd like that place. If you're still around in the summer, there's this festival. She is painting you into her future. She is placing your figure in scenes that haven't happened yet. She is, quietly, planning with you in the frame. The misconception, she's just making small talk. The hard truth, women do not casually project emotionally unavailable men into their futures. They don't waste the canvas of imagination on people who don't matter. When she starts speaking in a language that includes you in what comes next, she has already made a decision that she might not even fully acknowledge to herself yet. What it costs you, you brush past these moments without anchoring them. You respond as if they're hypothetical when they're actually invitations. She interprets your casualness as a lack of interest in a future with her, and she starts protecting herself by pulling those invitations back. The reframe, when she places you in her future, lean in without overcommitting. Engage with the vision. Show her that the version of tomorrow she's describing, the one with you in it, sounds worth building toward. That's not pressure. That's presence. That's the man showing up to the moment with both feet. Sign number 8. she becomes more herself with you over time, not less. In the beginning, many people show a curated version of themselves, the highlight reel, the performance. But when a woman is falling for you, something reverses. Over time, she becomes less edited around you. She laughs louder. She shares the weird opinions. She shows you the part of her that doesn't perform for anyone. She stops managing herself quite so carefully in your presence. She lets the full human show up. This is the deepest sign of all, and it is the easiest to overlook because it looks like things getting more comfortable when what's actually happening is something far more significant. She is choosing to be known by you. Out of everyone she could have chosen to be known by, she is choosing you. The misconception, familiarity is just casual friendship. The hard truth, comfort with someone is either the result of indifference or the result of deep trust. With a woman falling for you, her ease is not indifference. It is the highest form of respect. She has decided you are someone safe enough to be real with. That is not a small thing. That is a massive thing. What it costs you, you fail to honor the realness she's bringing. You make an offhand joke about one of her genuine moments. You're distracted when she's actually opening up. She feels the flicker go out, and once it goes out, it is very hard to relight. The reframe, when she becomes more herself around you, recognize it as the gift it is. You don't have to perform in return. You just have to be present, to witness her fully, to not flinch from her reality. Now let's talk about the man who actually gets this right. He is not the man who is constantly scanning for signals with anxious energy, trying to decode every text message at 2 a.m, building and collapsing theories in his head about whether she's interested. That man is in his head. And a man who is in his head is not in the room. And a woman who is falling cannot fall towards someone who isn't in the room. The man who gets this right is grounded. He has a life that he's actually living, not waiting around for something to validate his existence, but moving through the world with purpose. He has things he cares about, goals he's working toward, a standard of living that he's building on his own terms. He doesn't need her attention to know that he's worth something. He already knows. Because he already knows, he is free to pay attention. He doesn't need to perform. He doesn't need to calculate. He just shows up, calm, present, secure, and he notices things. He notices when she moves closer for no logical reason. He notices when she remembers the small detail. He notices when she's nervous, and instead of getting nervous in return, he steadies the room. He has boundaries, not because he read somewhere that boundaries are attractive, though they are, but because he has values he refuses to compromise and a self-image he has chosen not to negotiate away. When she pushes back, he doesn't collapse and he doesn't combust. He engages. He is interested in the friction because he is secure enough to trust that real connection can handle friction. He doesn't chase. He attracts through consistency, through being someone whose behavior tomorrow will look like his behavior today. Through being a man she can build a prediction around, not because he's predictable and boring, but because he's reliable and real. That man is not a myth. That man is available to you right now, today. The only thing standing between you and that version of yourself is the decision to stop operating from fear and confusion and start operating from understanding and groundedness. So here is what you do now. Stop waiting for her to hand you a confession. Stop requiring the big, obvious signal before you allow yourself to trust what you're seeing. Trust your perception. You have been given eyes that can read a room. Use them. Stop disappearing into your head at the exact moment she is showing up in real life. When you feel the pull of overthinking, redirect. Come back to your body, come back to the space, come back to her. Presence is the most attractive thing you can offer, and it costs you nothing except the willingness to be here. Stop managing your emotions by going cold or distant when things feel real. That habit, the one where you pull back when something starts to matter, it's a protection mechanism that is costing you connection. Real men don't go cold at the threshold of intimacy. They step across it. Do this instead. Be consistent. Be the same man today that you were last week and the same man you'll be next month. Let her see a through line, a coherent self, a man who knows who he is and doesn't change based on her mood or her availability. Do this. When you see the signs, respond to them, not desperately, not performatively, but warmly and directly. Let her know you're in the room. Let her know you see her. A man who can witness a woman fully without flinching, without projecting, without needing her to be smaller or simpler than she is, that man is rare. Be that man. Do this. Invest in your own clarity. Keep learning. Keep building your self-awareness. Keep studying the dynamics that most men refuse to examine because it feels easier to stay confused. Confusion is not neutral. Confusion costs you. Clarity compounds. Here is the truth you need to walk away with today. You are not here to decode a puzzle. You are here to be the kind of man that genuine connection is drawn to. The signs she's giving you are not tests you pass by being clever. They are invitations you answer by being real, by being present, by being grounded enough in who you are that she can safely be who she is. You think attraction is about saying the right thing, but attraction is about being the right presence. You think she wants the performance, but she wants the man underneath the performance, the one who doesn't feel the need to perform because he knows his own worth. That man is you, not someday, now. The version of you that sees clearly, acts with dignity, stays grounded in the storm, and moves through the world like someone who has something real to offer. That version is not a future aspiration. It is a decision. It is a daily recommitment. And it starts with understanding the world you're actually moving through rather than the fantasy version you were given. You are not here to chase. You are here to be. And when you are fully, genuinely, unapologetically here, she will be drawn to that. Not because you ran a strategy, because you became the answer to something real. If this kind of truth is what you need, subscribe right now. This channel exists for men who are done with confusion, done with mixed signals and miscommunication, and walking away from their own life wondering what went wrong. Every video here is built to give you clarity on attraction, on psychology, on what it actually means to operate at your full capacity as a man. Subscribe and bring someone with you who needs to hear this. Because the men who are watching this and choosing to grow, those are your people, this is your community, and the work starts today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more inspiring content.